But the interesting thing to me about this is he gave a different answer to Dexter Filkins at the New Yorker. Dexter Filkins is a terrific reporter, wrote a great book about his embed in the Iraq War. He was in some of the worst moments of the Iraq War. And the book was called The Forever War, which turned out not to be, but he was wrong about it, but he's a terrific writer. And he was interviewing Mattis in the New Yorker. And this is just a quick excerpt of that. He says, "When I asked what worried him most in his new position of defense secretary, I expected him to say ISIS or Russia or the defense budget. Instead, he said, the lack of political unity in America, the lack of a fundamental friendliness. It seems like an awful lot of people in America and around the world feel spiritually and personally alienated, whether it be from organized religion or from local community school districts or from their governments. I come out of the tight-knit Marine Corps, but I've lived on college campuses for 3.5 years," he went on. Go back to Ben Frank. He talks about this for a while, and then he says, "I think that when you look at veterans coming out of the wars, they're more and more just slapped in the face by this isolation, and they're used to something better. They think it's PTSD, which it can be, but it's really about alienation. If you lose any sense of being part of something bigger, then why should you care about your fellow man?" What he's saying, we talked about this last week too, about the sense of meaning that you have in war, the sense of camaraderie, the sense of being a part of something that's important with other people. And that, he says, is disappearing from America. And listen, I'm willing to say that maybe there are some voices on the right that are involved in this alienation. I know there's some angry voices on the right. But the left has basically, because the left's programs have failed everywhere, because socialism fails everywhere, because all their equality makes life worse, because all their programs make people dependent, because all their cities are where the worst problems for black Americans are in Democrat cities. Because of this, they have had to go to work destroying, shifting the blame onto basic norms and values of decency and Americanism. So it's basically their narrative now is, if we could just get rid of whites, if we could just get rid of men, if we could just get rid of objective truth, if we could just get rid of reason, if we could just get rid of God, then socialism would work. Then it would all work. And a lot of this division comes for that. And that's the story. That's the story that Dylan Byers of CNN has been telling all this time, and that is an incredibly, incredibly divisive story. And we'll talk about that some more, but right now I'd like